Chapter 7. Samuel's horse galloped through the forests of Israel in panic as he harnessed his sword by his side. The prophet Samuel was a recluse who hid out in the mountaintop of Israel, but he knew that going home was a trap. He suspected that an edict would summon his own head to get brought back to King Saul, and the reward of such an edict would entice his own sons to capture him. His sons were the only people who knew of his whereabouts, and their bitterness towards their own father for stripping them of their inheritance would definitely tempt them to get it back with his blood. Samuel galloped without knowing where he would end up. He only knew that he had to find refuge fast. After an entire night of galloping through the night, Samuel rested his horse near a small cabin built next to a creek. Unsure if he was alone, he shouted at the cabin to announce his presence. There was no answer. Samuel tied his horse to a tree nearby before slowly walking into the cabin. It was obvious that someone lived here because a small hearth had remnants of ash that seemed fresh, giving evidence of a fire that was just put out. The smell of cooked shellfish was in the air. Samuel decided to walk out of the cabin, realizing that he was intruding. He was extremely happy that he made that decision because as soon as he walked out of the building, he found himself face to face with a young man pointing a crossbow with a huge arrow pulled back inside of its grip, waiting to be released. The young man was of an athletic nature. His years of making a life with the forest showed in his muscular frame. His long beard and rugged appearance gave proof of his absence of civilization. "Drop your sword from your waist or this arrow will penetrate your heart. I'm a precision shooter, so try me at your own risk." Samuel obeyed in fury, throwing his sword at the feet of the young man. "I am Samuel, the prophet of Israel," Samuel barked. "I know who you are. That's the least of your concerns. You obviously don't know who I am." The prophet looked confused. "I was expecting you because I had a vision that you would arrive around this time. You are not the only prophet around these parts. You're just more renowned than I am, but the Lord gifted me as well." Samuel tried his best to not show any concern of the young man's posture of authority as he kept the arrow in lethal position. "Well, if you are a prophet of God, you should know that pointing an arrow at the Most High's prophet is an abomination," Samuel said in a disgusted tone. The young man sighed before throwing the arrow down. His position of a hostile threat was replaced with smiling elasticity as he embraced Samuel while inviting him inside. "You can sleep here tonight. I have some creek food left over. I'll make a fire so that we can talk. I have a lot to tell you because the Lord, who is our refuge, gave me instructions to give unto you." Samuel sat on a chair that had a matted cushion while removing his saddles. "My horse is going to need to drink from the creek pretty soon. Hopefully you can provide me with some water and your name also," Samuel said while rubbing on his aged feet. "My name is Nathan, son of Attai, and the Lord has stripped the kingdom of Israel from the hands of Benjamin and has chosen one of my own kin from the tribe of Judah. I am so excited about this being a Judahite myself." Samuel looked interested in Nathan's proclamation as he drank from the clay cup of water that Nathan handed to him. "Give me some proof that you are a prophet, Nathan, so that I can be relieved from my suspicions of you being a vagabond of a madman." Nathan laughed at Samuel's reply. "That water that you drink was marinated with poison hemlock. Your heart is skipping beats as we speak, and you should be dead in moments. Only the Most High can save you from this, and since the Lord works through me, I will save your life." Samuel dropped to the ground, gasping for air as he looked frantic while choking. Nathan stood over him, placed a hand over his forehead while uttering something in an unknown language. Samuel popped up on his feet, fully intact, relieved that he was able to breathe again, surprised that he felt the most refreshed that he ever felt, but forced to run out of the cabin towards his horse in fear. Nathan chuckled as Samuel nervously untied his horse. Watching him trying to command his horse to retreat was even more amusing. The horse was extremely uncharacteristic of itself. It was the most obedient animal that Samuel ever possessed, and this was the reason why Samuel selected it to become his main possession. The horse threw Samuel from off of his back. Samuel flew right back in front of Nathan, who could not stop laughing. Nathan offered Samuel his hand before helping him up on his feet. "You cannot run from God, old man. We need to have a conversation about our next king." Samuel complied, sitting right back in the chair that he collapsed from while being extremely perplexed.